At Interstate Welding and Steel Supply, we strive for excellence in all of our products and services. From medical, food, and industrial gases, including propane, to steel, aluminum, and other metal materials, we have everything you need for your business or personal needs. Visit one of our 2 showrooms for welding equipment, truck and trailer supplies, power tools, and so much more. Our professional sales team will help you find exactly what you need. Call our Marble location at 888-613-8284 or our Blue Ridge store at 706-900-1000. Plus, you can always visit us online at interstatewelding.com.
Looking for a way to become more active? Check out the Clay County Recreation Center. From walking and biking trails, to a workout room, to a state-of-the-art pickleball court, the Rec Center has something for all levels of physical activity. They even have an airfield for RC pilots. And don't forget about all the sports leagues for the kids. Visit the center at 333 Ballpark Drive in Hayesville or call 828-389-0368.
The Jackets will carry a state championship back to the mountains.
The Yellow Jackets aren't the only ones who dig deep to find success. So do the fine folks at Graves Directional Drilling. You can rely on Graves Directional Drilling to guide you through every step of the project at hand. Graves offers site evaluation, project development, design development, blueprints, site logistics, safety programs, quality control, materials, directional drilling, trenching, and site cleanup. Call Stephen Graves at 706-897-0374. Graves Directional Drilling, proud supporter of the Hayesville Yellow Jackets and 389 Country.
The views and opinions expressed on the Morning Buzz are not necessarily those of 389 Country advertisers, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, or Google Podcasts.
But they should be.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Cross your fingers and hope it works. I think we're working. Good morning, Buzzers. It's your buddy Trav on the radio. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Morning Buzz on a Friday right here on 389 Country. Now, if I'm too loud, please let me know. If I'm not loud enough, please let me know. Yesterday evening, came in here and had to do some daisy chaining on some soundboards. If you know, you know. But hopefully it took care of everything. Coming up on today's show, it is Friday. Hallelujah. Oh, it's been a week, hasn't it? But with it being Friday, you can expect the Scotsman Song to officially kick off your weekend at some point. Also, we got a Friday Funny, and it's in music form today, and it's a good one. What else have we got? Oh, I skipped a story. Actually, I skipped 2 stories yesterday, unknowingly, and it was 2 that I really wanted to hit on, but sometimes it happens. We got chaotic news from around the world, the blame game. Also, Ireland's at war, and wait till I tell you with who. Disney is down, but are they out? We'll talk about that. And 2 left for Hillary. What does that mean? And, of course, the crazy news story of the day, the CDX Country Music News, all kinds of goodies on this morning's show. But we can't do anything until we officially start your day. And to do so, we have to turn it over to our old buddy Doug. Doug, let's see how your mic works this morning. It's back. It's back. Today is Friday, December the 1st. Happy December to you, everybody. It is National Pie Day. I think I may celebrate that. It's also Antarctica Day. Okay. National Bartender Day. Well, if you're a bartender, you're not up right now, so sorry. It's also National Eat a Red Apple Day. Marty celebrated yesterday. I don't know if you saw his trip to the grocery store yesterday, but he was up. He was all up on this. Faux Fur Day and Faux Fur. What is a faux fur? Faux fur. Fake fur Friday. And World AIDS Day. Let's look at your national days. And the reason it is World AIDS Day, the first World AIDS Day was held on this day in 1988. It is on this day every single year. Yes, that's part of this day in history. Also on this day in history, General Andrew Jackson, commander of the U.S. Army of the Southwest, hastened to defend New Orleans, Louisiana against British invasion. A series of skirmishes over the next few weeks culminated in the Battle of New Orleans. We will be celebrating that here in a little bit. Also on this day, major history for our country. This day in 1955, in violation of segregation laws in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks refused to surrender her bus seat to a white passenger and was arrested, sparking a 381-day bus boycott led by Martin Luther King Jr. And that's a look at today's history. Now it's time to take a look at today's weather. Oh, the weather theme's back too. Trav, we love you. I know. Right now, 50 degrees in downtown Hayes, Vegas, lower 50s, maybe a few upper 40s in the tri-state, depending on your elevation. Today, rain. It actually has already started here at the studio anyway. Sprinkling. Expect a high around 57 degrees today. Rain mainly early in the day. Rain will become steady. And listen, welcome the rain, right? We need the rain. It's drought. Rain throughout the night for your Saturday. Occasional rain, high of 63 degrees. Chance of rain, 91%. And on Sunday, taking a look at the second half of the weekend, 64 degrees for your high. Occasional rain in the morning. Otherwise, cloudy most of the time with a low of 35. And peaking at Monday, looking like a sunny day in the upper 50s. That is a look at weather, brought to you as always by the fine folks at North Georgia Sign and Apparel. And with that, we have officially started your day here on the Morning Buzz. Today's show brought to you by Rusty Wallace Chevrolet. Welcome back, Buzzers. It is Friday, and you know what we do every Friday to get the show rolling. We tune in to the Possum. George Jones, Finally Friday. Sing along. If you don't know it, just make it up. Nobody cares. The weekend's almost here. Don't it feel like Friday now? It's officially Friday now. You're welcome. How about we take a look at 411 for the 389. Headlines from overnight. An extended ceasefire between Israel and Hamas that began over the weekend reached its 7th day, Thursday, with Hamas releasing 8 additional hostages in exchange for the release of 30 Palestinian prisoners by Israel. Once again, the numbers just don't add up. As of yesterday, the number of hostages released totaled 104, with more than 230 Palestinians released by Israel. In other news, the city of Detroit opened the country's first road capable of wirelessly charging electric vehicles as they drive this week, a key step toward wider adoption of the technology. The quarter-mile demonstration project is meant to show the feasibility of wireless charging as a supplement to an eventual nationwide charging network for electric vehicles. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that's going to be expensive. And in Russia yesterday, Russia's Supreme Court declared the International LGBTQ plus rights movement an extremist organization in the latest and most severe legal move against LGBTQ plus activism in the country. We will discuss this more in hour 2. And closer to home. How close to home? Well, here. Clay County yesterday was awarded a grant that was released by Commissioner Rob Peck. This press release. Clay County leadership was notified on Thursday, November 30th, that the Dogwood Health Trust has approved a grant of $769,207 to assist in funding the Clay County EMS and Community Paramedic Program workforce expansion. So, good news there. You can find more on those stories and other stories for free, as always, over at 389country.com. Now, we talked about the Battle of New Orleans. I know we started with George Jones, a classic country song, but there's no such thing as too many classic country songs. So here is the Battle of New Orleans with Johnny Horton. Mitchell Tenpenny drunk me. I got to get used. It's a different button now to turn my mic on, so I keep going to the old one. It's okay. I hope you are having a great Friday morning, and I hope we're playing a little part in helping it be a great Friday morning, because I know when that alarm went off this morning, it hurt. How do I know? Because when mine went off this morning, it hurt. When you get snapped back into reality from whatever kind of crazy dream you're having, or even if it's no dream, if you're just sleeping peacefully, that alarm, I don't care if it's like the gradual, it still makes you want to punch somebody right in the throat. Or maybe that's just me, but I I digress. As you're getting ready to head out to the office, to the job site, to the store, heck, maybe you're headed to a school somewhere today, I want you to be prepared, because at some point today, dear friends, you're going to find yourself in the presence of those that make it abundantly clear to you that they need to be educated on the things of this world. And when that moment happens, dear friends, I want you to be able to look them dead in the eye and say, losers, bet I'm smarter than you, and I can prove it. And then hit them with this. Did you know oranges were originally green? It's true. It's true. I know, blew my mind too. The first oranges ever imported to the West were from Southeast Asia and were tangerine pomelo hybrids that were green in color. In fact, oranges grown in warmer parts of the world, such as Vietnam and Thailand, stay green throughout their entire lifetime. So are they called greens? Greens? Did you eat your greens today? Nah, I couldn't get it peeled. Huh? And then after you have left them wowed, nay, slack-jawed with your superior knowledge, I want you to hit them with the old 1-2 punch. Look at them again and say, not only am I smarter than you losers, I am funnier too. Then drop this on them. When my wife and I arrived at an automobile dealership to pick up our car, we were told the keys had been locked in it. We went to the service department and found a mechanic working feverishly to unlock the driver's side door. As I watched from the passenger side, I instinctively tried the door handle and discovered that it was unlocked. Hey, I announced to the technician, it's open. To which he replied, I know, I already got that side. Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav here, and it is time for sports, brought to you by the Clay County Recreation Center. And in sports this morning, well, we've got a lot to talk about. So, yesterday I told you how Taylor McClure had decommitted from Gardner-Webb. Well, later yesterday, he put out on X that he had received a scholarship to play D1 football for East Tennessee State. So, congratulations to Taylor on that. Also, let's see, what else do we have? There's something else for Hayesville. It's for tonight. Never mind. Also in sports, we've if you've been watching Western Carolina, maybe live or on ESPN Plus, you may have noticed a memorializing patch on the team's uniforms featuring the letters HL. Well, a salute to a trailblazing basketball alum, Henry Logan, who passed away back in late July. Coach said without Henry Logan, there is no Justin Gray or a lot of the players we have now at Western Carolina. So it's only right that we pay tribute to him and his legacy with this patch this season, said Western head coach Justin Gray on the memorial representation for the late Logan. So there you go. If you've been watching and wondering, what is this about? That's what that's about. Now let's look ahead to tonight. Hayesville basketball action on the road. The first road game for the teams tonight. It is varsity only tonight as Hayesville travels to Nantahala to take on Nantahala. So game time 6 o'clock for the ladies, 7:30 for the Yellow Jackets, and the Lady Yellow Jackets looking to make it 2 wins in a row, and the boys team looking to stay undefeated at 3-0. So if you're looking for something to do tonight, you can head out and cheer on the Jackets. And that's a look at sports, brought to you as always by the Clay County Recreation Center. So we've been playing Christmas music for a week now, and there's one song I stayed away from. I said I've got to wait till it's at least December, but you cannot be a country music radio station and not make it officially Christmas with this tune. And I think everybody will agree with me. This is the sound of country Christmas. It's Alabama Christmas in Dixie.
Time now for our Bozo News of the Day. Today's bozo comes from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. An Alabama idiot. Does it get any better? Go Dogs. Anyway, our bozo Preston Davis was in need of some cash. So he did what many 24-year-olds would do. He asked Granny. It was how he went about it that got him into trouble. Alright, pay attention here. Instead of just calling and asking, he set up an elaborate scheme. He sent photos to his grandmother showing injuries that he said had been inflicted on him by kidnappers. They got me, Granny! Help! He then told her that they wanted $1,000 for his safe return. Now, that should be a red flag. $1,000? if I get kidnapped for $1,000, if bad guys think that I'm only worth $1,000, I would die of depression. Anyway, Granny wasn't so easily fooled and called the cops instead of reaching for her purse. Noticing there was no sign of kidnappers in the video, police officers did some investigating and tracked down our bozo, determining the whole thing was a hoax. He's charged with first-degree extortion and probably not welcome at Thanksgiving. What an idiot. Granny, they got me. They need $1,000. Well, you're worthless.
Kenny Chesney, you and tequila. Well, let's take care of a little house cleaning, should we? A little housework. So this weekend, Harper makes her debut tomorrow, starting at, I think, 8 when she comes on. And then John and Heidi will be in their normal spot, but Harper will return in the afternoon to take you all the way into the night. So, shows that you've been hearing, they will no longer be with us. And it's not like we had a falling out with those hosts or producers. It's just we wanted to have more control over what was on the air here, right? And not saying that they were putting out junk. It's just we want more in-house things. So little different sound starting this weekend. The website will update as far as our show schedules and all that good stuff. And coming up, probably not this week, but next week, we will also have a host for our Sundays. So excited about all of that, all the growth. And John Raybould and Crossroads of Americana, he made the cut. His show, you heard his promo a little earlier. He will still be on from 4 to 7 on Sundays. He's like a member of the family here, so we kept John, and maybe keeping his daily show. I'll let you know. We still got to work out some details on that, but just needed to do a little housekeeping, let you know what's going on as we continue to try to improve everything. And I'll pull the curtain back a little more. We are in the planning stages to remodel this whole place. And when that is done, the watch option will return, and maybe it may be available on Facebook Live. What? I said too much. Let's jump back into the music now. Here's a little John Party. He wants to spend a little time with you. Let's take a look at this day in country music. Let's see here. Where do we want to start? Let's start 1972. Charlie Pride was at number 1 on the country charts with She's Good. She's Too Good to Be True. It's a good song, by the way. 1983, Kenny Rogers was at number 1 on the charts with his 11th solo studio album, Eyes That See in the Dark. I had a joke there. I'm just going to let it go. 1994, George Strait was on the top of the charts with his 15th studio album, Lead On, Alabama. I was talking to a buzzer about Alabama. The album includes the singles, the big one, You Can't Make a Heart Love Somebody, Lead On, which all became top 10 hits. Let's see. In 1964, Buck Owens recorded I've Got a Tiger. So we would have played that, but we've listened to quite a few of the old classics this morning. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying. And in 2018, This One's For You by Luke Combs went back to number 1 on the country album chart. The album continued to return to number 1 intermittently during 2018 and 2019. With a total of 50 weeks at the top. But this morning, we land here. In 2010, on this day, Lady Antebellum, or Lady A now, were up for 6 nominations for this little number that included, this was at the Grammys, including Record Song and Album of the Year, plus Best Country Song, Country Album, and Country Performance by a Duo or Group. The song, Need You Now. Priscilla Block, Ever Since You Left. That's how we end hour number 1, but don't you fret, dear friends. Hour 2 on the way, and we'll take a look at political chaos from around the world, including Disney. They may have admitted to a mistake, but does that mean that they're going to correct it? We'll talk about that. Also, 2 left for Hillary. I'll break that down. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Text a friend, tell them to tune in. Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav on the radio. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Morning Buzz on a Friday. I hope your Friday is going great, even with a little rain in the area. Expect rain pretty much all day today, and in case you didn't know, we need it, so it's okay. And it's Friday. It's always easier to accept a rainy day on Friday than, Monday. Ugh. I used to work with a guy who'd walk around all the time saying, I love Mondays and rainy days and Mondays. And, he would do it just to kind of poke at people. All right, we're in hour 2. Coming up in this hour, political news from around the world. I mentioned before the top of the hour break there, I'll be breaking down. There's a group that apparently thinks that Hillary Clinton is not left enough. I'll tell you about that. Also, more evidence that Hunter may be, crooked. I'll just put it that way. And, I forgot. It's here. All those stories and more coming up in this hour. But as we do every day in hour 2, we begin by connecting with Jesus. Because we need Jesus before we talk politics. Today's 389 Country worship, praise and worship song of the day comes to us from Stars Go Dim. It's simply called Thank God. Welcome back, buzzers. Let's go ahead and just jump into this little number and just get it out of the way. A wave of white lung syndrome has struck Ohio, forcing health experts in that state to declare an outbreak of the mystery pneumonia, which recently made headlines in China. Hooray! It's here. Fear of a COVID 2.0 is in the air, yet none of the big pharmaceutical companies have patented a vaccine for white lung syndrome, so the CDC has declared that with this illness, nothing is out of the ordinary. Okay. It looks like we've got something to worry about here. From the story, an extremely high number of children are being diagnosed with pneumonia in Ohio, which is now the first U.S. state to report an outbreak like the one in China. Health officials in Warren County, 30 miles north of Cincinnati, said there have been 142 pediatric cases of the condition, dubbed white lung syndrome. So, instead of black lung, from coal miners, not only is this above the county average, it also meets the Ohio Department of Health definition of an outbreak, the county's health department said Wednesday. The spread of cases has raised fears that an American outbreak of the infection that has overwhelmed hospitals in China could hit this winter. Several European countries are battling similar cases. Doctors say patients are mostly suffering from fever, cough, and fatigue. Now, I hate to say it like this, but in my mind, it's a little too far off from 2024 election for another lab leak. Or they may slow it down until we can turn it loose, right? So, it sounds like COVID, right? Doctors say patients are mostly suffering from fever, cough, and fatigue. Wasn't that that's the main symptoms of COVID, right? So is it really something? How do we know this is different? I know. I'm being cynical, but I just don't trust any. I was thinking about this yesterday. I got home yesterday evening, had a package sitting on the porch, obviously delivered by the mailman or UPS or probably not FedEx, and it was just sitting there, and it triggered a memory in me. Do you remember in 2020? When we were told, if you receive a package, if you have something delivered, let it sit in the sun for a few hours before you touch it, right? We were told that the sun killed COVID, but then we were told to stay indoors, right? Now, listen, y'all, they told us to leave packages on the porch in the sun so we were safe, and we're like, okay, now look back, look, how stupid was that? So you have to have that mindset. What are they telling us now that's just as stupid? But we're buying it, hook, line, and sinker. Gretchen Wilson there with Home Wrecker. Speaking of Home Wrecker, let's talk about Hillary Clinton. Well, so Hillary Clinton teaches a course at Columbia, but it looks like she's not getting much love from the students who apparently shamed her out of the building on Wednesday. Now, I'm all for that, but I don't think it's for the same reasons I would shame her out. So my question is, does anyone admire Hillary Clinton? Like anyone. Now, I know you don't, probably. There may be a few of you out there. And if you do, that's your prerogative. Thanks for listening. But it sure seems like these lefty Palestine supporting students over at Columbia University, they don't like her either. By the way, she teaches international affairs. So they had a sit-in for Palestine, Hillary Clinton was shamed out of the building. Yep. So rumor has it students had been walking out of her class when she refused to answer questions about the Israel-Palestine conflict, which led to these videos being posted online. Now, let me see here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's like, I don't know, a dozen students, and all of them wearing masks. Now, I would think, oh, well, it must be university policy, but Hillary and her handler here, they're not wearing a mask. So, I don't think it's because they're worried about COVID. I think they just want to hide their identity. But did you think we would ever see the time when Hillary Clinton was not to the left enough? This bunch, they don't see her. She's a moderate. And I've said this before. It's not that the Democratic Party is gone right. It's that the crazies have gone left. So your moderate Democrats, they look like they're Republicans now. And I really feel like moderate Democrats don't know what to do because they see this branch of the party that they're just as left can get. And they think, well, I need them to vote for me, but that's crazy. I think we are getting to the point where we're going to have 3 parties, maybe even 4, not counting independent because that's I guess technically not a party, but I think, which they already do, it's socialist Democrats, right? That's pretty much the far-leaning left wing of the Democrat Party. They call themselves socialist Democrats. And then over on the right side of things, you have Republicans, and then you have conservatives, which, if you dig into it, it's not the same thing. They share some values, but I feel like the Republican is more moderate, and the conservative is like, let's stop the chaos. I don't know, but it's kind of funny to see Hillary Clinton being booed out of a building because she's not left enough. So, how about a little funny now? It's Friday. It's time for the Friday Funny, and today I was thinking about my buddy Lucy. I played this song early on when 389 Country started, and she really liked it. And it's been a while since I've played it. I really like it, too. It's Loretta Lynn, Conway Twitty, our Friday Funny. You're the reason our kids are ugly. Loretta Lynn, Conway Twitty, our Friday Funny. You're the reason our kids are ugly. Have you ever told your spouse that? Hey, you know what time it is? It's time for a Biden update. Well, the Biden crime family, the Biden family, just more and more evidence. GOP oversight says 2018 bank alert flagged serious concerns about Chinese money being routed to Hunter Biden. I am shocked. I, for one, am shocked. Sarcasm. Now, to the one guy out there who's still, for some reason, uncertain about the deeply shady relationship between the Bidens and the Chi-Coms, here's a little update for you. In 2018, in a 2018 email, a bank flagged serious concerns about the China money. Stupid pop-ups. So they were concerned about the China money that was being added to Hunter Biden's. Let's see. In China money, Hunter Biden received $40,000 of. All right, back up, Trav. I sound like Joe. So the pop-up threw me. It was an email where a bank flagged serious concerns about the China money Hunter Biden received, $40,000 of which ultimately landed in Joe Biden's bank account. In the email, the bank's money laundering investigator highlighted erratic payments along with no obvious services rendered, no current business purpose. So he got flagged by the laundering investigator because all this money was being put into the account with no rhyme or reason as to why. That was when? 2018. $40,000 ended up in the hands of Joe Biden. At this point, like I say, there may be one person out there who's like, no, the whole stupid argument, it's just Joe being a good dad. Really? Oversight Chairman James Comer said on Wednesday that long before our investigation into President Biden's corruption, a bank money laundering investigator raised the exact concerns that we raised publicly about the Biden family business, adding House Republicans will continue to unearth the facts and provide the accountability the American people deserve. So here's the thing, what's going to happen? You're going to impeach Joe Biden? at this point, you impeach him. By the time that process goes through, even if it goes through and he gets thrown out of office, the election's coming up. But if you do impeach him and he gets actually impeached and, the trial for removal actually happens, at that point he steps down and cites health reasons. So you're not going to get him. And do you get Hunter? Maybe. I doubt it. We all know there's different sets of laws for different people, right? Anyway, let's move on. I got brand new music today. It was in the old inbox from one Mr. Tim McGraw. Now, it seems like Tim has a new album out every week. Didn't we just have new music from Tim McGraw not long ago? I mean, I'm not going to complain. I usually like Tim's stuff, but this is it's got 6 songs on this. It's called A Poet's Resume. And so let's check out one of the old tunes here. And this is the title track, Poet's Resume, the latest from Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw, Poet's Resume, his latest. Got a comment from a buzzer about our funny. And they said that Conway saying he didn't have hair to comb was funny in itself. It makes me wonder, is that luscious head of hair? Was it a wig? Is that blasphemous in country music to question that? I mean, I think it's worth asking. But she does say at the end, what about the ones that are bald? And maybe that's when, I don't know. But anyway. Also got a comment about Hillary, and they wrote a paragraph, but I'll just say this, that they were talking about how it just shows how crazy the country has gotten, where Hillary Clinton is not considered crazy enough. I agree, but there you go. Well, we still have a half hour in hour 2. Coming up after the break, Shannon McCombs will join us from Nashville, assuming I can get connected. You know how the rain is, so stay tuned for that. And we will continue on. And the Scotsman Song still hasn't played, so stick around. So excited to have Harper on the team. And I'm excited that the connection worked to Nashville this morning, as last week, Shannon, I was a little lazy on Thanksgiving. I wasn't here, but we're on, I guess you would call it a tape delay. But this week we're back in our normal spot as we tune in to you, because you keep us updated on everything from Music City. So with that, I turn it over to you. Shannon, what you got for us? Cody Johnson there with Painter off of his latest album that Shannon was sharing with us there. Well, now look, you've got conservative-minded citizens and pro-family advocates that are crowing about it, while mainstream, secular, progressive commentators do their best to, whistle quietly past the graveyard. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Disney. Disney is now admitting that they've angered a huge portion of their family-oriented base after losing billions of dollars, millions of fans, and thousands of investors, in their quest to sexualize kids and moralize through movies. Disney has somewhat quietly here acknowledged in a shareholder memo how badly they've screwed up. Now, from the memo, or from the story, in its annual SEC report, Disney acknowledges that, quote, we face risk relating to misalignment with public and consumer tastes and preferences for entertainment, travel, and consumer products. Further, consumers' perceptions of our position on matters of public interest, including our efforts to achieve certain of our environmental and social goals, often differ widely and present risk to our reputation and brands. So, basically, hey, we've messed up. What we're pushing, people don't want. So this bombshell SEC filing comes after yet another massive box office disaster for the entertainment giant, right? To say that Disney's Wish bombed on Thanksgiving's opening weekend would be an insult to bombs everywhere. Not just that, but the House of Mouse just got outed for corporate cronyism. They were tag teaming with Microsoft to stymie critics mocking their woke LGBT-obsessed identity. So, what's most remarkable about Disney's free-for-all is that it's all self-induced, right? They've done it to themselves. They put this stuff out, and it started trickling, and people were like, no, don't do that. But you had a lot of people that were like, it's just one movie. Oh, it's just one character. Oh, it's just this. It's just that. And now it's like everything they put out is pushing this agenda, and they've overplayed their hand. And now the time has come to pay the piper. Now, look, as heartening as it may be to watch Disney eat from the very plate that, they've messed up, so to say, it's also responsible to understand that these types of assessments and seemingly self-aware observations are fairly standard risk disclosure and avoidance language in SEC filings. So what actually matters is evaluating who sits at the top of the organization, both as executives and policy-making board members, right? So with Disney, that remains individuals fully committed to an ideological cause, and they're willing to go down with the ship if necessary just to see it advance. So now I heard rumor yesterday that Apple may be interested in buying Disney. So if that happens, do you really think Apple's going to change how it goes? No. And back to it's just one movie. It's just one character. It's just this. That's how our country went down this slippery slope. It's because we always just say, well, it's just this, and, well, it's only this, and, well, it's just this. And so we're taking steps down and saying, it's just one step, it's just one step, it's just one step. And before you know it, you turn around and look, and you're thousands of steps down in this cesspool and wondering, how in the world did we get here? Well, by saying, well, it's just. So there you go. Let's turn the mood around, shall we? It's Friday. We're supposed to be happy on Fridays. And Friday on the Morning Buzz does not come and go that we don't officially kick off your weekend with, everybody say it with me, the Scotsman Song. But I see you won first prize. The Scotsman Song, everybody. Happy weekend to you. Here's a little Reba. Well, everything is the right's fault. I'm going to catch you up on a couple of stories we didn't get to yesterday. First off, let's head to Chicago. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson whined Tuesday about right-wing extremism and blamed his predecessor, Lori Lightfoot, for the many troubles afflicting the Windy City. So, it's right-wing extremism and Lori Lightfoot. Lori Lightfoot could not be further from right-wing extremism. So, what's he saying here? It's everybody's fault but mine. I don't think right-wing extremism is a big problem in Chicago. You remember Jesse Smollett when he said that, two Trump supporters kidnapped him in the middle of the night and said, this is Trump country. Does anybody believe Chicago is Trump country? Just like, does anybody believe that all of the gang shootings every weekend that happens in Chicago is the fault of conservatives or right-wing extremists? Does anybody believe that? How in the world can you blame all of your troubles on conservatism and Lori Lightfoot at the same time? You can't. That's oil and water. That doesn't mix. But it's not my fault. It's the right's fault. And staying with that theme, let's head to Ireland. So following the attack, by an immigrant the other day in Ireland where he stabbed children. Keep that in mind. He stabbed children. He was supposed to be deported in 2003, and he wasn't. And anyway, the Irish people rioted in the streets, which seems to have frustrated the lefties in Parliament there who just can't stand these far-right anti-immigration extremists who, for some reason, don't like it when immigrants stab children. So what did they do in order to stop the hate? Well, they got in touch with social media companies and colluded with them to censor the speech of these Irish citizens who don't quite hold the right set of ideas, y'all. Here's from X. The Irish government colluded with big tech to censor Irish citizens following the Dublin stabbing attack. X was the only platform that did not comply. Now they're calling for new laws that would force X to take down posts they don't like. Ireland is at war with X and with Elon. This immigrant stabbed kids. Well, it's the right wing's fault. Chicago is a dump that's dangerous, that's been ran by Democrats for years. Well, it's the right's fault. Are you starting to see a pattern here? Lee Greenwood, have yourself a merry little Christmas. That's how we end hour 2. We had plenty to get to. I just didn't get to all of it. And somebody asked if my thoughts on the Gavin Newsom, Ron DeSantis debate last night. Got to be honest, I forgot it was even on. So apologies. Maybe we can talk about it Monday. Coming up, though, Hour 3, chaotic news from around the world, including the crazy news story of the day. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav on the radio. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Morning Buzz and joining me here for Hour 3. If you're listening live, happy Friday to you. If you're not listening live, I'm just glad you're listening. No matter how you're listening, whether it's iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Google Podcast, on your toaster. However, if you're listening on your toaster, I would like to know how. And don't forget, you can always tune us in on your Roku device or smart TV. Live 365 app is pretty much universal now. Just download that app on your smart TV, add 389 Country as your favorite, and from that point on, when you open that app, there we will be. These golden tones from your flat screen. Coming up in this hour, we have chaotic news from around the world, including crazy news story of the day that weirdly kind of ties in with yesterday's crazy news story of the day. Also, we're going to talk baby names. What else do we have in here? There's something else. Oh, and house prices. Y'all, maybe that should have been in hour 2. But anyway, we're going to kick off with our 90s at 9 song today, and it comes from a guy that I got to hang out with. Super cool dude. It's Neil McCoy with Wank. Neil McCoy, Wank. Well, it's time to dive in to chaotic news from around the world. And we begin with this little number. Did you know? No, it's not that time. So apparently the average rent in America for an apartment is $1,700 a month. Y'all. But let's break it down. If you're planning to move anywhere in the continental U.S. in the next year or so, you should probably figure out if you're moving to a place with insanely unaffordable rent, right? From the story, across the U.S., renters pay an average of roughly $1,700 a month for their apartments, but the kind of space you'll get for that sum differs wildly from region to region. So let's take a look at what you will get for that. The zip codes with the least space for the national average rent of $1,700. 9 out of 10 of these zip codes are in Manhattan, New York, and the other one is Queens, New York. So 10 out of 10 goes to New York City. For $1,700 a month, you can expect an apartment anywhere from 211 to 234 square feet. That's your entire apartment, y'all. That's not a guest room. That's not a walk-in closet. That's your whole living space. 211 square feet for $1,700 a month. No tanks. Now, the other cities, big cities, aren't much better. Taking a look here, L.A., depending on where you live, you might get 300 to 600 square feet for $1,700. Now, meanwhile, here are the top 10 from the other end of the spectrum. The zip codes with the most space for the national average rent of $1,700. Looks like Tennessee and Oklahoma is your best bet, as those two hold 9 out of the top 10 spots, with Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, coming in at 9th. Number 1 was Memphis, Tennessee. For $1,700 a month, you can get a 1,996 square foot apartment, almost 2,000 square feet. Think about that. So in Manhattan, it's 211 square feet. In Memphis, it's 2,000 square feet. You can get an apartment 10 times larger in Memphis for the same price. I mean, I don't know. The lesson clearly is go south, young man, right? Now, I'm not wired this way, I guess. I see no reason for me to move to New York City. I don't expect New York City's #1 country music radio station to be, reaching out for me. Hey, we need a new morning guy. And if that's the case, we can, work from home. What do you think? 211 square feet for $1,700 a month. When I look at that, 2 words come to mind. Poor me. Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav here, jumping back into the music. Dedicating this one. This is not a request. This is a dedication. This is going out to Buzzer Bill. He and I have conversation through the chat option at 389country.com. And Bill, I feel like this one is fitting for the conversation we're having. It's the Hag. Merle Haggard, are the good times really over for good? Well, hopefully not. But this may be a sign that we're headed that way. Here are the top gender-neutral names on the list for 2024. So you can expect these parents, as Gen Z gets older and starts having kids and everything, and they want to have gender-neutral names. This is what these are the names that they think will be tops. Now, we're going to get into this. I don't think they're all gender-neutral. You tell me what you think. In no particular order here. Fisher. Pretty sure that's a guy's name, right? I would think. Collins. I could see that being gender-neutral. I call them gender-bender names. Harrison. That's a dude's name. Coulter. Hello. Coulter Wall. That's a dude's name. Huxley. 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 I guess that would be a gender-bender name. Ridley. Maybe it go both ways. And look, some of them are just dumb, right? Huxley. How dare he? My daughter's name's Huxley. Is it a family name? No. Spencer, that's definitely a dude's name. Carter, that's a guy's name. River, that's a guy's name. Noah, N-O-A, no H. So I guess they're trying to feminize it. Is the H masculine? Yeah, it's for he, dummy. Oh. Wren, W-R-E-N, and Sloan. If I'm a girl that's named Sloan, when I grow up and get older, I'm going to have a word with my parents. What does it matter, Look, we already have gender-neutral names. You got Tracy, right? Joe. I'm sure there's others in there that I'm drawing a blank on right now. But why not? Everybody got to be sharp. And they'll spell it different. Like Fisher is F-I-S-H-E-R. Common spelling, right? You watch. They'll be working on it, and it'll be like some crazy spelling. But anyway, get ready. In a few years, apparently, these are the names you're going to have to deal with. Hooray. Just take my name. Time now for the crazy news story of the day. And let me just preface this by saying I do not condone stealing. However, sometimes I can understand it. What am I talking about? Well, this from the New York Post. Police search for thief who stole a van loaded with 10,000 Krispy Kreme donuts. See, now you're understanding. Oh, yeah, makes sense to me. Now, I mean, if you're going to steal anything, why not 10,000 Krispy Kreme donuts? Am I right? Y'all agree? Listen, this lady's probably in a food coma by now, but we'll still give her some time to shine here. Yeah, it was a woman, y'all. We don't discriminate here. We have crazy men, crazy women, most of them from Florida, but this comes from Australia. From the story, the alleged burglar fled a servo in Carlingford, northwest of Sydney, Australia, with 10,000 donuts in the van while its driver was inside paying at about 3:30 in the morning. Its driver was paying? What? Anyway, the vehicle was on its way to Newcastle to make a variety of deliveries, including Christmas-themed and classic donuts. Police are currently searching for the van and the sweet tooth thief. It's believed she jumped into the van as the driver was inside the service station. Ah, got you. I thought they meant it was inside the van. Krispy Kreme said in a statement. How would you like to be the press release, the PR person for Krispy Kreme? Today's press release. Deliciousness. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Great. Now I can't stop thinking about donuts. And I polished off the last two we had yesterday. Maybe I won't be a copycat burglar. So if you've got any sweet leads or crispy CCTV footage, donut, keep it to yourself. This is what they donut, keep it to yourself. Contact Crime Stoppers, Currently, Krispy Kreme is working on replacing those 10,000 donuts, so they should be in stores soon. As for our thief, well, maybe she was just really hungry and, now face down on the ground somewhere. I would bet that the van was what she was trying to steal. The 10,000 Krispy Kreme donuts, just a sweet, sweet bonus. What do you think? And that is a look at our crazy news story of the day. Florida-Georgia line with Cruise. Might want to leave the windows up today if you're listening live. You may get a little wet if you roll them down. How about some more chaotic news, shall we? Now, look, we all know, all you parents out there, we all know it's a challenge for all new parents, getting enough sleep while keeping a close eye on the newborn, right? Well, for some penguins, it means thousands of mini cat naps a day, researchers discovered. Y'all, listen to this. Chin-strap penguins in Antarctica need to guard their eggs and chicks around the clock in crowded, noisy colonies. So they nod off thousands of times each day, but only for about 4 seconds at a time. Y'all, you talk about a mad bird. Now, I would be easily agitated. These short micro sleeps totaling around 11 hours per day appear to be enough to keep the parents going for weeks. 11 hours a day they're able to sleep like that? Let me try. They must be like an internal switch. I can just switch it off and back on because it's going to take me longer than 4 seconds to go to sleep. Well, but if I'm only sleeping 4 seconds at a time, it could probably happen. These penguins look like drowsy drivers, blinking their eyes open and shut, and they do it 24/7 for several weeks at a time, said Niles Rottenborg, a sleep researcher at the Max Planck Institute for Biological Intelligence in Germany and co-author of the new study. What's surprising is that they're able to function okay and successfully raise their young. So remember that, new moms and new dads, when you're up at all hours. Just remember, it could be worse. You could be sleeping for 4 seconds at a time. I don't know that I believe this. Trent Tomlinson there, one wing in the fire. Well, we were talking about the stolen donuts. Sometimes things just are too sweet. Stretch of highway in Ohio was closed Thursday morning when a crash involving 2 semi-trucks covered the roadway in boxes of chocolate and caramel, or caramel, whatever you want to say. The Ohio Department of Transportation said the 2 trucks collided about 6 a.m. Thursday on westbound Interstate 90 in Lake County. One of the trucks spilled its load of chocolate and caramel candy into the roadway, prompting officials to direct traffic off the highway. Now, when you first read that, you would have thought that one had the chocolate and one had the caramel or caramel, right? You got your peanut butter in my chocolate. You got your chocolate in my peanut butter. No injuries were reported. Concord fire crews were summoned to the scene for cleanup operations. You know what? If I lived in that area, I think I would have volunteered to help. Yeah, I got it. Hey, Daddy, I need your wheelbar and I need a shovel. Ice chocolate everywhere out here on 90. 90 headed north. Actually west, wouldn't it? I don't know. Why do I never see anything like this? Like, the only things I see in the road is, dead animals and empty McDonald's bags. Oh, chocolate highway. How does that not lead to Willy Wonka's? I mean, that's just common sense, right? Warren Ziders there. We're going to old school now. Little Don Williams, Louisiana, Saturday night on a Friday morning. Well, I am good as gone. That's going to do it for the old Travinator on a Friday and for the week. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Morning Buzz here on 389 Country, or the podcast version, wherever you catch it. Don't forget to keep a check on 389country.com throughout the day for news you can use. Always new, always free, and keep us on as we are the perfect soundtrack to your day. Josh David coming up at 10, looking like he's going old school to start off his show. Everybody's in a classic country kind of mood, I guess. By the way, if you love xylophones, you should drop by. Check out our Facebook to find out what I'm talking about. I'll be back with you bright and early Monday morning. Friends, we'll do it all again as, chaotic news from around the world, crazy news story of the day, political chaos, all that good fun. Until then, remember, wrestling's real, politicians are fake. Have a great weekend, everybody. Your buddy Trav is out of here.